Hey everyone, SOB from SOB Sims here. I'm a brand new DCS third-party campaign creator, and I wanted to do a quick video to introduce my upcoming campaign called Sentry Pacific 2025. You'll play the role of an F-16 test pilot assigned to the Air National Guard Air Force Reserve Command Test Center, also known as AATC, where you'll fly 13 missions participating in the annual Sentry Pacific 2025 exercise in the Mariana Islands. Now, this campaign is loosely based on the annual Sentry Aloha exercise held in Hawaii each summer that is heavily participated in by Air National Guard units. But for DCS purposes, this summer the exercise will take place in the Marianas Islands. I've walked a fine line when creating this campaign because I want to make it study level, but I also want to make it accessible for most players. So if you can start the F-16 and do basic weapons employment, you're going to do fine in this campaign. And you're going to have a blast doing it. And before I forget, I'd be remiss if I didn't call out some folks who helped me bring this campaign to life. So Reflected, Badger633, Sedlow, Baltic Dragon, and countless others that I'm forgetting to name, thank you for your support. I want to especially thank Reflected for his countless hours answering all of my dumb questions through hours and hours of Discord chat. Okay, that's enough yapping. At this point, let's go ahead and crank the jet and get rolling. This will be a brief playthrough of Mission 5, so we're not quite halfway through the campaign yet. So I'll just let the mission kind of speak for itself at this point. Thanks for watching. Please check out my upcoming campaign and give it a try. I really think you're going to like it. I'll jump back in from time to time during the mission, but for the most part, I'm going to try and keep the chatter to a minimum and just let the mission speak for itself.
Test. Venom 2, you got a good jet? 2 is good to go. Roger that. I'll grab startup clearance and see you on button 9 in 5. Saipan Tower, Venom Flight of 2 F-16s northeast ramp. Request engine start.
Venom Flight information. Foxtrot is current. Cleared engine start.
Venom Flight, cleared engine start.
So kind of the Reader's Digest version without reading the entire mission brief. I'm number 2 in a 2-ship. My flight lead is the Squadron Director of Operations, call sign Stash, and we're going to take off, go hit the tanker, and then do some weapons employment to assist one of the other AATC test teams with one of their new UAVs with a laser designator. Now before you ask, no, you won't have to air-to-air refuel to successfully complete this campaign. However, I highly encourage you to use this campaign to teach yourself how to do it. And I think it will be a much more rewarding experience if you do. But in short, you can just fly formation with the tanker and you'll receive mission credit. Now what you will need to be able to do to complete the campaign is keep up with the radios. Now you're going to receive a prompt when you need to change radio frequencies, but you can also reference your kneeboard card. So just keep up with the radios. That's as real world as it gets. One other disclaimer before we get started. I recorded this with Track IR on flat screen, and I'm not the best pilot on flat screen. I've been flying VR exclusively for about 9 years since the original Oculus came out. So bear with my flying on this sortie. And keeping it real with real-world procedures, there will be an ATIS or Air Terminal Information Service for every sortie, so I encourage you to tune in and at least set the local altimeter setting.
Way 07. Caution, high-performance military aircraft operating in local area. Sierra Alpha India portable TACAN available on 103 Yankee. Advise controller on initial contact that you have information Foxtrot. Saipan International Airport information Foxtrot. 0043 Zulu. Wind 100 at 5 knots. Visibility 10 or more miles. Few clouds at 9,000. Temperature 26, dew point 23. Altimeter 2994. Simultaneous ILS and visual approaches in use. Landing and departing runway 07.
Venom, check uniform. 2. Venom, push button 9, Victor. Venom, check Victor. 2. Tower, Venom flight with information Foxtrot, request taxi.
A Venom flight clear to taxi to runway 07, hold short.
Venom, taxi 07, hold short. Get the hell out of my way. Boy, you're gonna need to move a little faster than that.
Tower, Spam 15, request departure to the west. Roger, Spam 15, clear to depart to the west. Departure will be at your own risk. Use caution. Spam 15 is departing to the west at own risk.
So this mission is no different than any of my other missions where you're number 2, where your primary job is going to be not only to keep up with the radio, but to be in position. So the AI will be ruthless. They're going to stick to the timeline, they're going to taxi on time, they're going to take off on time. So it's your job to be there. One of the things I really wanted to do to bring this campaign to life is to add tons of voice files. And it's a lot of extra work, but I really think it's going to bring this campaign to life. At last count, there were over 3,000 voice files for this campaign, to the point where it's almost a little bit unrealistic with the amount of conversation that you're having, but at the end of the day, I wanted this to be fun, immersive, and entertaining, even if it's at the expense of realism. Some of the other stuff that I've included to bring this campaign to life is a custom knee board for each sortie, a PDF mission brief, and about a 50-page master campaign briefing guide.
Ready to go, 2? 2 is ready.
So if you'd like to dig into the details, they're there for you, but I can tell you, you will be able to complete these missions without doing a deep dive. At the end of the day, I wanted you to be able to sit down in about an hour to an hour and a half, briefly read some of the mission information, reference the knee board cards, and be able to successfully complete the campaign.
Tower, Venom flight will be ready to go upon reaching 07.
Venom, the winds 095 at 7, clear for takeoff, contact departure.
Venom flight is clear for takeoff. Venom, push button 4. Venom, check Victor. 2. Venom 1 is rolling. Venom 2 is rolling. Guam departure. Venom flight is off Saipan at 2,000 feet, VFR.
Venom flight radar contact, say intentions.
Venom's going to be operating VFR in a climb to flight level 220 to rejoin with Texaco 11 in the east track. After that, we're going to be direct into R7201 for weapons deployment.
Venom flight, roger. Do you want flight following?
Departure. Venom request push tactical.
Venom flight, roger that. Squawk VFR. Frequency change approved. Good day.
Venom push button 10 Victor. Sentry off. Venom flight checking in for words. Mission number Delta Delta 0947 into R7201 and AAR with Texaco in the east track.
Venom, roger. Your mission is a go. Wicked 22 will be jumping into R7201 momentarily to conduct lasing ops and JTAC duties for you. Contact Wicked 22 on red approaching the IP. AAR with Texaco is pre-approved and Texaco should be approaching the east track at Angels 22.
Venom copy. Two, saddle.
The other thing that I've added for all the folks that don't want to do a deep dive on all the campaign documentation is basically a quick brief from flight lead. You'll either do the brief yourself as flight lead or you'll receive the brief from your flight lead, which will just kind of outline what's going to happen during the mission. So essentially they're going to read through the briefing materials for you. Again, just for the folks that don't want to do the deep dive, or maybe they don't have the time to do the deep dive.
Hey boss, you mind giving me a rundown on the mission one more time? Sure thing. Basically, I gotta hit the tanker today to reset my currency. I'll probably only be on the boom for about 2 minutes. After that, you're welcome to jump on if you want to grab about 1,500 pounds. It never hurts to get gas when operating over all this water. If not, just let me know and I'll detach to the west and we'll head to the IP to set up for our test event. Today we're continuing to support the AATC Special Warfare Team with a laser designator test. This time they've got it mounted on a small rotary wing UAV, and they can launch and recover from their boat. Oh, and of course they're jumping into the test zone with their boat, the drone, and all their gear to conduct suitability testing on the whole package. Copy that, so they're lasing for us. Well, yeah, they're lasing for us, but obviously our IR Mavericks aren't going to track the spot. So use laser spot search to spot the designated target, and then transition to your pod to designate and shoot the Maverick. Wicked will be using Type 1 control and giving us 9 lines for currency training. Copy, no questions.
Now, one of the other things that's cool about being a test pilot is pretty much all of our weapons employment during the exercise is going to be scripted with a dedicated test event, and more importantly, a dedicated test card. So for the most part, you're not going to be copying down 9 lines and things like that. Everything's already going to be spelled out on your test card for you. So for the folks that don't want to have a knee board and feverishly write down notes throughout the sortie, you may find this a little refreshing. Again, maybe not as challenging, but still, I think, just as rewarding.
These technical boys are right on time.
Yeah, the Hang's been a great unit to work with.
2 push button 6 on uniform. Technical 1-1, Venom Flight 2 Vipers approaching for refuel.
Venom Flight Texco copies. Cleared rejoin.
2, confirm nose cold and switch is safe. Two is nose cold, switch is safe. Roger, you're cleared to rejoin the left observation position. After I'm done, I'll hold the right observation position until you're ready to proceed on mission. Venom 2, copy. Sentry Ops, Props 2-1 will be conducting parachute operations in R7201 in 60 seconds.
Props 2-1, Sentry Ops copies. Break, all aircraft on frequency. Parachute jumping operations by C-130 in R7201, 9,000 feet and below in 60 seconds.
Props 2-1 has 4 jumpers away, 7,500 feet, time of flight 3 minutes.
Props 2-1, roger. Report jumpers on deck.
Venom 1 has good flow, 1,000 to go.
Texaco 1-1, proceed to pre-contact at 22,000 at 350. Cleared contact.
Sentry Ops, Props 2-1 reports all jumpers on the deck.
Props 2-1, roger. Cleared RTB at or below 10,000 feet. Break, attention all aircraft. Parachute jumping in R7201 has terminated.
Props 2-1 copies.
Contact. You're taking fuel. Disconnect.
Two's ready to proceed on mission. Copy, Venom lead detaching. Texaco Venom flight is detaching to the west thanks to the gas. Venom push button 1 uniform. Venom flight, fence in. Two is fenced. Lead is fenced. 2 saddled. The way I figure it too, if I'm burning taxpayer fuel, I'm going to be working on my currency requirements. We always need to be maximizing our time in the jet to make sure the taxpayers getting their money's worth. Roger that, boss. The days of just burning a hole in the sky are over. We need to be sharpening the spear for our next big fight. You reckon it's with the Takeoffs? Well, maybe not tomorrow, but yeah, things seem to be headed that way. They seem determined to push us out of here, and we are more determined than ever to stay put. It's not a great recipe for peace. Yeah, but it's historically been our area of influence since the end of the Second World War. You think we should just back off and abandon our allies? Not in any way, shape, or form. I'm just pointing out that we are headed for a fight. And lately the Chi-Coms and the Russians have been cozying up, and having the world's #1 and #3 nuclear powers forming an anti-US pact would be a disaster for the West. Copy that. We really should adhere to that phrase, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. We really need to drive a wedge between the two if we're going to have a fighting chance. Yeah, let's hope we can figure out how to do that. Venom Flight, push red on uniform.
So we're jumping ahead at Mission 5 here, so you've missed a little bit of the backstory, but essentially the Chinese are out here poking their finger in our chili a little bit, and so you'll see that throughout the campaign.
Wicked 2-2, Venom Flight approaching R7201 with mission number Delta Delta 0947.
Venom, roger. Cleared into R7201, anchor at IP, and advised ready for 9 line.
Venom, copy. Okay, 2, I'll take the first 2 shots and then pass the lead to you for your 2 shots. Let's anchor at the IP and get set up for test cards 1 through 4. 1 and 2 are mine, 3 and 4 are yours. 2, concur. Wicked 2-2, Venom Flight has checks complete and is ready to commence test card number 1, ready to copy 9 line.
Venom, copy 9 line to follow. Wave 265, 18 miles, 195 feet. Tank 55 Quebec Charlie Tango, Niner 6 716. 1 AGM 65 Delta on target. Laser code 1768. 4,000 meters southeast, troops in vessel, marked by green smoke. Egress east to wave. Stay when ready to copy remark.
Venom 1 is ready to copy remarks.
Final attack headings 240 through 290. Request 1 Maverick per aircraft per pass. Read back.
Venom 1 copies 55 Quebec Charlie Tango, Niner 6716 on code 1768. Attack heading 240 to 290.
Good readback, Venom. Cleared hot. Advised ready for laser.
So for today's test event, we're basically just helping Wicked with his rotary wing UAV laser designator. Again, wouldn't really be required to fire these weapons, but hey, makes it more fun.
Venom cleared hot, laser on.
Lasing.
In from the east. Spot. Venom 1 rifle.
Venom 1 shot. Alright, Venom, let's move on to test card number 2, target 2. Advised ready for 9 line.
Venom 1 is ready to copy.
Venom, copy all data as previously briefed with the exception of target locations. Line 6, 55 Quebec, Charlie Tango, 996-714.
Copy. All data same as previous engagement. Line 6, 55 Quebec, Charlie Tango, 996-714.
Good readback, Venom. Remarks same, cleared hot. Advise ready for laser.
Venom 1 is cleared hot. Laser on.
Blazing.
In from the east. Spot. Venom 1 rifle.
Venom 1 shot.
Copy. Venom 1's passing lead to Venom 2. Break. Venom 2, you have the lead. I'm assuming chase formation.
Wicked 2-2 copies. Venom 2, advise ready for 9 line.
Venom 2 is ready to copy.
Venom, copy 9 line to follow. Wave, 265, 18 mile, 195 feet. Tank, 55 Quebec Charlie Tango, 994-711. 1 AGM 65 Delta on target, laser code 1768. 4,000 meters southeast, troops in a vessel marked by green smoke. Egress east to wave. Say when ready to copy remarks.
Ready for remarks.
Final attack heading 240 through 290. Request 1 Maverick per pass. Read back.
Venom 2 copies. 55 Quebec Charlie Tango 994-4711 on code 1768. Attack heading 290 through 240. 1 rifle per pass.
Good readback, Venom. Cleared hot. Advise ready for laser.
Venom 2 is cleared hot. Laser on.
Blazing.
In from the east. Spot. Venom 2 rifle.
Venom 2 shat. Advise ready for final 9 line.
Venom 2 is ready to copy.
Venom copy. All data as previously briefed with the exception of target location, line 6, 55 Quebec Charlie Tango, 9er 710.
Copy. All data the same as previous engagement, line 6, 55 Quebec Charlie Tango, 9er 2710.
Good readback, Venom. Remarks same. Cleared hot. Advise ready for laser.
Venom 2 is cleared hot. Laser on.
Blazing.
Wicked 2-2, Bone 1 and 2, anchored at IP, ready for test, Delta 0949er.
Bone fly copy. Just wrapping up with Venom. Contact me in 10 mics.
Bone 1 copy. In from the east. Spot. The Venom 2 rifle.
Venom 2 shat.
Venom 2 copy. Alright, Venom Flight, Venom 1 has the lead. 2, rejoin wedge, let's push to our next steer point. Wicked 2-2, thanks for the reps. Venom Flight will be departing to the southwest at this time.
Venom flight, roger that. Cleared out of R7201, altitude your discretion. Thanks for the work. You boys come on up to City anytime.
Copy, Wicked. Venom push button 1 uniform. Venom check uniform. 2. Venom Flight fence out. Two is fenced out. Copy, Venom 1 fenced out. Sentry off. Venom Flight is at the end of full and it has completed test event Delta 0947. We're going to be conducting some currents training en route RTB Anderson at this time.
Copy, Venom. Clear RTB Anderson. Maintain listening. Watch this frequency for now. Contact us 35 miles north of Anderson.
Venom Flight copies.
Sandy 1 flight from Sentry Ops.
Sentry Ops, Sandy 1, go ahead.
Sandy 1, can you guys flow towards Bullseye 251 for 36? The Coast Guard is reporting they received a distress call from a merchant marine in that area and they've lost comms with them.
Sandy 1, Wilco.
All right, 2, you cleared fluid trail. I'm going to be working on my surface radar currency and working GMT and C modes, headed south back to Anderson. If I see anything interesting, I may drop down and check them out. 2 copies.
Sentry Ops, Sandy 1 on scene, bullseye 251 for 36. We got a merchant ship DIW and they're shooting red flares at us.
Sandy 1 Roger, remain on scene if able and attempt to raise them on the radio and assess the situation. The Coast Guard has a Herc and an H-60 en route now.
Sandy 1 copy. Sentry Ops from Sandy. We raised them on the Fox mics. They've got a Mariner with a severely compound fractured arm that got caught in some type of machinery on deck. They're requesting immediate CASEVAC from the Coast Guard.
Sandy, Roger, will relay.
You catching all this with your GMT radar mode 2 at a bullseye 251 for 36?
Two affirm. Attention all aircraft. The Coast Guard just posted a TFR at bullseye 251 for 36, surface to 9,000, 5 nautical miles circle. They're doing a medevac of an injured mariner.
Well, that's right in front of us, but we're above it. Looks like quite a ruckus going on. Looks like a Coastie Herc and a UH-60 as well as a pair of hogs down there. 2, tally. Hopefully they get that guy to the hospital pretty quick.
Yeah, it looked like that H-60 had him in the basket. The Coasties will take good care of him.
Well, that reset my GMT radar currency. 2, go wedge.
Venom 2, copy.
Alright, so we took off from Saipan, but we're RTB back to Anderson right now. The details of that are revealed in the story, and I don't want to get into it too much because there's some spoilers. But needless to say, we are headed back to Anderson, and that's where we'll end our sortie today. So again, this sortie is representative of most of the sorties in the campaign. Again, non-combat focused, so for better or for worse, you're not going to fly for an hour and a half and get shot down and have to fly that whole mission again. Again, for better or for worse. Some people like that challenge, but I'm going for immersion, and I want you to feel a sense of accomplishment after your hour and a half sortie without having to repeat it 4 times.
What the hell's going on over there? Check your 3 o'clock, 2.
Looks like we've been intercepted by a few of Uncle Sam's misguided children.
Yeah, looks like it. I need to reach out to their CO and see if we can arrange a little one-on-one time with them out in the airspace. I love fighting the Hornet. Besides, it looks like they need to learn a little respect.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. I'd like to fight something I can see on my radar for a change. In the meantime, I know how to make them go away. This technique works really well with the Chi-Coms as well.
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. The bird's a word.
I really cracked myself up. Bye-bye. Come back when you can stay a while.
Dude, with all this excitement going on, I don't want to leave Sentry Ops frequency. Jump over and grab Andersonatus, will you? I'm pretty sure I want to shoot an instrument approach into there.
2, Wilco.
Zulu. Wind 100 at 8 knots. Visibility 10 or more miles. Few clouds at 9,800. Temperature 27, dew point 24. Altimeter 2995. Simultaneous ILS and visual approaches in use. Landing and departing runway 06 right. Caution, large crane operating north ramp. Advise controller on initial contact that you have information Papa. Anderson Air Force Base information Papa. 0145 Zulu. Wind 100 at 8 knots. Visibility 10 or more miles. Few clouds at 9,800.
Okay, Anderson information Papa, their VMC 108, 29905, runway 06 right. Venom copies. The Sentry Ops, Venom flight is 35 miles north of Anderson at this time.
Venom, Roger, stand by. There's a bit of a commotion going on here. Venom, we're getting reports from NBGC-2 of 3 unidentified ships operating about 15 miles south of Guam inside U.S. territorial waters. We need you guys to get down there ASAP and visually ID those ships.
Venom flight copy. Can you give me a Greek coordinate or bullseye reference?
Venom affirm. They're on the Anderson 200 radial for 55 Papa, Bravo, Quebec, 565392. Last report, they were heading northeast at approximately 10 knots. Vector is 185 for 50 from your present position.
Venom copies. We're Buster at this time. 2, join up wedge and let's push mill. Get those coordinates punched in and let me know when you've captured them in your pod. Alright, 2, you captured those ships in your pod yet? 2, Wilco.
Okay, well, Stash is pretty impatient, but he shouldn't be that impatient, so I'll have to adjust that trigger slightly.
Altitude. Altitude.
Alright, boss. I've got what appears to be 3 ships, 2 frigates, and maybe some type of salvage or fishing vessel with them. Roger, Sentry Ops. We got 3 ships spotted. We'll report when we get on scene.
Venom copy. NBGC-2 is reporting them within the confines of U.S. territorial waters. Let them know they are not welcome. You are cleared supersonic flight. Recommend show of force on the lead ship.
Venom copy.
So again, speaking of real-world events, the inspiration for this little deviation in the sortie is actually based on an incident where Chinese ships were actually detected in Australian territorial waters doing a live fire exercise while civilian airliners were flying overhead.
Venom push button 7 uniform. Guam Tower, Venom flight request to transition your airspace to the south. Priority mission from Sentry Ops.
Venom flight cleared as requested. Remain above 2,000 feet.
Venom copy.
Reach 175 heavy. The wind 073 at 8. Clear for takeoff. Traffic will be a flight of 2 F-16s. Midfield. Overhead at or above 2,000 feet. Transiting south. Contact departure.
Reach 175 heavy. Copy. Clear for takeoff. Traffic in sight. Switching.
The infamous Reach 175 C-17 crew will live in infamy, and you'll hear that part of the story unfold in Mission 6. And some of the stories and humor you'll encounter in this campaign is actually based on my real-world experiences in the Air Force, believe it or not.
Tower, Venom flight is clear of your airspace to the south. Thanks for your help. Venom, push button 1 uniform. Sentry Ops, Venom flight is overhead. Be advised, all those ships are flying the Chinese flag, and that dog just ain't gonna hunt.
Roger, Venom. Get them out of here. They cannot be allowed to remain in our territorial waters unchallenged.
Roger, we'll do what we can short of starting World War III. 2, I'm gonna anchor above and relay to command control. I want you to drop down to 200 AGL or lower and give that lead ship a supersonic pass. Let them know they are not welcome in our territorial waters. 2, Wilco.
Chaff, flare. Chaff, flare. Altitude. Altitude.
Nice. That seemed to get their attention.
Bingo. Bingo.
Two, affirm. Nice job. Sentry Ops, the lead ship has altered course to the south. The remaining ships appear to be turning south slowly.
Nice work, Venom Flight. We'll relay to MBGC-2 and see if they can get the USS Stockdale to shadow them to the south. You are cleared RTB Anderson at this time.
Venom Flight is RTB, 2, push button 4 on Victor, and rejoin Wedge. Anderson approach, Venom Flight is a 2-ship of F-16s, 35 miles south of Anderson. Request a short-range IFR pickup clearance back to Anderson.
Venom 1, roger. Squawk 0732, ident.
Venom 1, 0732 with a flash.
Venom Flight, roger. Radar contact. Venom Flight is cleared to Anderson Air Force Base via radar vectors. Climb and maintain 2000. Fly heading 010.
Venom Flight is turning 010, climbing to 2000.
Venom, roger. Say approach request.
Venom would like radar vectors for the TACAN Zulu 6 right at Anderson.
Venom, roger. Fly heading 010 to intercept the Anderson 240 radial.
Venom, copy. Alright, T, I need to reset my TACAN approach currency, so let's shoot the TACAN Zulu to runway 06 at Anderson. The approach way is on your knee board. We'll get radar vectors to the final approach course in lieu of holding. Looks like it's at or above 2,200 until the final approach fix at Colma. Then we'll descend on the 240 radial to 1040 feet MSL, 483 feet AGL. I'll plan on a full stop. You request close and beat up the pattern until your bingo fuel. Sound good? 2 copies. Man, I can't get over how green this place is compared to Tucson. Hey, Stash, have you been down to Talafofo Falls yet? No, not yet, but it's on my bucket list, along with some of that bowling alley stir-fry you've been raving about. It's the best.
Venom Flight is approaching the final approach course. Turn right heading 040 to intercept the 240 radial inbound at or above 2,200 until established. Cleared the TACAN Zulu approach. Contact Anderson Tower, local button 3 at Colma.
Venom Flight 040 to intercept the final approach course at or above 2,200 to establish. Venom, push button 3 on Victor. Anderson Tower, Venom Flight of 2 Vipers at Colma. Gear down. Lead will be full stop. Number 2, low approach.
Venom lead is cleared to land. Number 2 is cleared the option.
Venom copy. Tower, request transition to 06 left.
Venom, copy that. Clear to land, 6 left.
Venom 2, request closed.
Venom 2, copy. Left closed, traffic approved.
Altitude. Altitude.
Venom 2 is left base, gear down, full stop.
Venom 2 is clear to land, runway 6 left.
Bingo.
Venom 2, clear to land.
Bingo.
Ground Venom 2 is clear of the active, request taxi to southwest ramp.
Venom cleared as requested.
Venom Ops, Venom 2 is on the deck, mission complete, request parking.
Venom, roger, your parking spot is 75.
Venom 2, copy.
So you get to fly with several different types of aircraft, buffs, bones, hogs. You mostly go out as a 2-ship of Vipers. A couple of the sorties will be 4 ships. You'll lead the majority of the sorties, but you'll also get to fly as a wingman for a few of them. But overall, I'm just trying to keep the formation sizes small and the fun factor high. Okay, so we're wrapping up. We're just going to taxi into park and talk to the chief here. If you've made it this far, thanks for sticking around. Definitely check out the campaign. I think you're going to find it's a lot of fun. It's definitely going to be different than anything else you might have played in DCS, for better or for worse, but you'll have to decide on that. You'll be the final judge. I'm shooting for an immersive and entertaining experience where you get to go do cool fighter pilot shit without all the real world shit that goes into doing that for real.
Well, Chief, we cheered death again. Back on dry land, and the jet is Code 1. Welcome back, sir. Thanks for bringing her back in one piece. See you at the bowling alley tonight for a few frames and a beer? Of course. And don't forget the stir fry. I'm buying.
Alright, wrapping it up here. The campaign will be 13 missions. Missions 0 and 12 will be deploying over and back to and from Hawaii. The other 11 missions will be the meat of the campaign, and they're going to range from test profiles to combat employment exercises with lots of twists and turns in between. I hope you enjoyed watching Mission 5, and I hope you enjoy the campaign. SOB out. Alright, crew transit's here. We'll see ya.